Alright, I'm live. Alright, live. Alright, this is going to be a demonstration of Halo 2 Anniversary MJOLNIR Edition, a rebalanced campaign mod for Halo 2 Anniversary, which aims to basically make the game actually fun and enjoyable on Legendary. Or any difficulty. Legendary. Should I... Yeah, Iron. Make sure there's... Master Blaster. Okay, yeah, no, there's no co-op here. Only Iron. Alright. So, and I'm gonna let cutscenes play, but I'm gonna talk over them since I will have subtitles turned on. Yeah, I know. So, the point of this campaign mod is basically to make... It's to balance Halo 2's campaign and Halo 2 Anniversary's campaign. Which would be the same thing, but... Of course, part of the reason that I'm bothering to do this is because, well, I finally get to play Halo 2 Anniversary on the PC, and I get to mod it, so why not? And of course, there's the standard reason, which is that Halo 2's campaign has always been an unbalanced mess, due to the fact that the game was basically rushed in order to meet a delivery date. Bungie did not have enough time to properly test the game on Legendary. And even though the game's multiplayer settings are fine for multiplayer, the fact remains that in the campaign, if you play on Heroic or Legendary, you find that you're gonna have a very frustrating playthrough. And there are several reasons for this. Again, all of them contribute to the unbalanced nature of the game. One of the primary reasons, and the most common one, is the sheer just degradation in the player health, or deprecation. Basically, starting in Halo 2 onward, the Master Chief has less health and shields than he did in Combat Evolved.
You told me there wouldn't be any.
In Halo Combat Evolved, the player had 75 points for health and 75 points for shields, counting up towards 150 points total. In Halo 2, you have 30 points for health and 70 points for shields, and that's when you play as both the Chief and the Arbiter, which is a bag of worms I will get to later on. But basically, the point is that you have less health than you did in the first game, and while your shields do technically recharge faster, the amount of time that it takes before they recharge is still pretty long. It's only shorter than Combat Evolved by 1 second. And even though your health recharges, the amount of health that you have is so pitifully low that it doesn't make much of a difference. You have only 30 points for health in the campaign. In multiplayer, you get 45 points of health. Strange that you'd have more health in multiplayer than the campaign, but... Well...
Go ahead, Cortana.
I don't know what's going on.
We have probes en route.
I apologize, but we're going to have to make this quick.
So in this mod, the player now has 50 points for health and 100 points for shields,
Sergeant Major,
equaling to 150 again, basically the same as you had in Combat Evolved.
For a soldier of the United Earth Space Corps.
So, 100 points for shields, and the shields have a faster recharge rate. Well, I mean, they still recharge in 2 seconds like they do in the vanilla game, but the stun time, that is the amount of time it takes before they start recharging, is 3 seconds instead of 5. The shields... No, I mean not the shields, but the health. Your player health is... In vanilla, you had a 10-second delay before you started recharging your health. In this mod, you have a 6-second delay. And you have a 3-second recharge rate. So... it balances out. Now, you have better shields now. So, now they are much more efficient than they were in Combat Evolved. But that's only in this mod. I always like the way that this cutscene shows the Arbiter and the Chief, you know. One gets praised as a hero, the other one gets treated as a heretic for the other one's actions. It's a great job of setting up the stories of the two characters in this game.
Commander, get to your ship. Link up with the fleet.
It's pretty good.
Yes, sir.
You have the mech gun, Cortana. As soon as they come in range, open up.
Gladly.
Something's not right. The fleet that destroyed Reach was 50 times this size.
Sir, additional contacts. Boarding craft and lots of them.
How did the boarding craft get so close?
Give their capital ships a straight
You know what's going to be weird here in a minute is that if you pay attention to the way the ships are moving in Anniversary graphics, like in the window that's coming up.
Right this way.
What do you mean you need a weapon, Chief? You are a weapon. But yeah, look here. The ships are moving towards the right, towards the viewer's right, whereas in the classic graphics, they're going to be moving towards the viewer's left. And, oh god, I have campaign scoring turned on. Oh well, that doesn't bother me. But yeah, so here's one of the big differences. You have increased ammo reserves. Well, here's the primary weapon differences. And yes, I'm playing with centered crosshairs, and honestly, the view models for the Halo 2 weapons they actually work pretty well with centered crosshairs. Not perfect, but they actually do pretty well. They actually adapt pretty well. Anyways, this is something I want to check out.
Open weapons lockers.
The red glow is a lot less pervasive in the master graphics. I feel like the dynamic lights and shadows here. I mean, honestly, I believe that. Oh my god, the sun isn't rendering! At least in Classic, and... Oh my god, the sun is gone! The sun is gone! I guess everybody on Earth must be dead. What's there to defend us now? What's there for us to defend? The sun is gone, all life on Earth is probably dead. Or the Earth is a frozen tundra wasteland now. What's the point of defending it from the Covenant? There's nothing to defend. Everyone's dead from the cold. Oh well, still gotta kill some aliens. Yeah, now, one thing you'll notice here in the flight is that the SMG's view model only changes its viewing angle when dual-wielded. Whereas here it behaves like a Halo 1 weapon. I personally don't have a problem with this, but I know that a lot of people will complain if it's not fixed, and it's kind of weird that it's the only weapon this doesn't happen to.
How's it going, Malta?
And so here's one of the another change I've made to weapons is the impact damage for certain weapons. The Magnum, for instance, now does 15 points of damage per bullet, just like the Magnum of Halo 3 and Halo 4. It doesn't have a scope, but it still has the fast firing rate that it did in Halo 2. At least in... Yeah, it still has the fast firing rate that it did at launch. I wonder, did the firing rate change when the multiplayer patch was released for Halo 2? Yeah, the Xbox Live multiplayer patch that was released back when the multiplayer map pack came out in the early 2000s? I don't know, but that map pack screwed up a whole bunch of damage values, made a lot of weapons useless. Yeah, it made a lot of weapons completely useless. Or more useless than they already were. Yeah. My god, you know, I do prefer the Anniversary sounds and graphics in this game over the classic ones. Just because the classic... See, unlike Combat Evolved, Halo 2 really doesn't look all that great in comparison. I mean, it's an improved engine, certainly, but it doesn't really have the polish it could have. Yeah, see that? See how I did not die in just a few seconds? And that's not just due to the increased health and shields, but also due to the fact that the enemy firing rate... Well, actually, the enemy firing rates, they've been altered, but not in globals. I know that in Ruby's Rebalance mod, the AI firing rates were changed in globals. There they go over there, I got him! It's a bug hunt, man, it's a bug hunt! God, I could have made so many quotes from Aliens right there. Yeah. But, so yeah, anyway, the thing is... Aww, they killed the Marine voiced by Michelle Rodriguez. Oh, there's still a grunt. Yeah. Anyway, the damage per bolt or the damage per projectile impact, I should say, has been greatly increased across the board for most weapons. The plasma rifle now does 14 points maximum, like it did in Combat Evolved, and 8 points minimum. I think the Needler is the only weapon that I didn't change the impact damage for. I did decrease its super combined damage to 200 points instead of, yeah, 200 points instead of 400.
Borders and Habitat Alpha.
But the projectiles now travel, they have a guided angular velocity of 90 degrees like they did in Combat Evolved. And their initial velocity for traveling is 6 world units per second. And it increases to 8 over distance. Like the ranges for increasing are 6 to 12 world units if it goes up when it reaches those. Also, the Super Combine now does EMP damage. It releases an EMP burst as well, and it has a range of 1.5 world units. So it will disable the shields of nearby enemies like elites and jackals and nearby elites and jackals. The plasma pistol now does 16 points of damage per regular bolt, like it does in Halo Reach. In vanilla or default Halo 2, it does a maximum of 7 points. 7, which is pathetic. And oh, I still gotta figure out how to fix that. The overcharge now does health damage with an EMP effect being a side effect.
Security Station 4 is under attack.
Yep, see that? Just killed a grunt with an overcharge.
Borders in Section 2.
Yep, and here's...
Attention. We have borders in Section 3.
Yeah, projectile has had its...
Fire station, Trans Terminal 1. Borders have breached the communications deck.
Yeah, it's now, like, impact detonate instead of fizzle when the overcharge hits the default material.
Quick response team to the communications deck. Alert. We have hostiles on the command deck.
Oh yeah, and the blast radius of the Oh yeah, that's right, I have the Iron Skull on, gotta be careful. Yeah, the blast radius overall for the Needler Super Combine is 1.5. And what did I say about the Plasma Pistol's overcharge? Oh yeah, it does health damage. It does 100 points. Yeah, 100 points now.
Brace for impact.
Shit, missed. And if you're noticing that the projectiles seem a little weird, that's because they're designed now to use weapon origin. That is, they now, when in first person, they fire from the weapon itself instead of from the magical first-person camera that's, like, above the player's head. And, now, yeah. What was I saying? Oh, yes. One thing I mentioned earlier was the, about globals. I've kept a lot of globals intact, for difficulty scales. Although, by default, the game multiplies... Okay, in globals, the, difficulty scales are set up so that enemy damage output is multiplied by a factor of 1.5. So that's 100% plus 50%. It's basically plus 50% of what the damage modifiers are set at in the AI generic character tag. The generic character tag, or the AI generic tag, is, as the name implies, a generic AI tag that all other AI in the game can reference, and most of them do. Many AI do have their own unique tags set up for specific AI types, like, you know, Elite Ultras and Majors and Minors. You know, they all have their own unique tags for setting up their health and shields, and, you know, certain weapons that they fire at specifically at different rates than other weapons. You know, so they'll fire a Needler differently than a Grunt will fire a Needler. But overall, shit. They all reference this generic tag. It has properties for everything. You know, vehicle usage, how much time an enemy spends in cover, you know, how fast they fire their weapons, how much damage they do when they fire their weapons, you know, how much of a weapon's damage output do they actually do? Do they do what percentage of it? And that is where I lead into the main change that I've made here. And they killed the Marine. Which is that... What the hell? That's my... Okay, if you're hearing a weird noise in the background, that's my bird acting crazy. He's a parrot, and he's just going nuts. What is that elite doing? He's dancing! Dancing to the rhythm of the beat. He's dancing to the rhythm of a combat beat. Anyway. See, I cannot do what I'm doing right now on normal legendary, or like default legendary, because of how unbalanced it is. Because, again, as I'm getting back to, it's the AI generic tag, and actually in all the AI tags that have weapon firing associations in them, which is it's a block of data within each tag group, within each tag, for weapon firing associations that determines, basically it's the ranged combat section of the actor variant tags from Combat Evolved. Because in Halo 2 you don't have actor variants anymore. You have, in Halo Combat Evolved you had actor tags and then actor variant tags. And here you have just the whole AI tags. And a lot of the information that was shared between AI tags and actor variant tags has been amalgamated together into the singular AI tag. So some information being, I think, diverted over to the biped tags for certain AI. Yeah, being diverted over to the biped tags, like you know, changing color and stuff like that. You know, color changing, like you know, like in Halo 1 you had, you know, the ability to change AI color variants in both the actor variant tags and the biped tags. In Halo 2 onward, I think it's just in the biped tags now. Also because in Halo 2 onward you have, you know, color schemes that vary depending on because you can have multiple color schemes if you've, you know, modified your player model in, you know, in multiplayer, you'll notice that you can determine the primary and secondary colors. And, you know, and you have, you know, tertiary, quaternary values for, like, you know, different parts of the armor pieces and whatnot. And so that's why those tags are different there. Really is a,
We've got orders in the Fort Pelican.
what the? Huh. Yeah. But anyway, so I'm digressing a lot, but the point is, in Halo 2, okay, in Halo 1, the global difficulty scales on, actually for all difficulties, are actually higher in Halo 1 than they are in Halo 2. On all difficulties. You know, in Halo 1, AI do, like, you know, they have a multiplier of, you know, 0.3 on easy. In Halo 2, the multiplier is 0.1. You know, on Legendary, and this is the fun part. On Legendary, AI are set to do 1.8 times their damage output settings in Halo 1. 1.8. See that? EMP attack. With, yeah, the plasma grenade has its EMP effect restored now. So you can take down shields of multiple enemies. Noob combo.
Hey, check it out.
Huh.
Malta's already driven up its borders.
Boarding craft
what
is
is your
spaced
status?
differently there.
Over.
I don't believe it! They're retreating! We won!
I do wish Halo 2 Anniversary had subtitles in-game like Halo 1 and Halo 4 do. And those are the only... Now here's the fun part.
All hands, brace for impact.
Yeah, so, as I was saying, don't just stand there, stupid! Do something! Anyway, what is that elite doing?
Alert. Hostiles have reached the port and access.
Shit. That's right, I have iron turned on. I've got the iron skull turned on. I've got to be careful here. Yeah. But anyway, AI firing... There's no proper modifiers in the AI firing association tags in Halo 2. I mean, the blocks exist for modifiers to be put in there. They're just left at 0. Which means that they do no modified damage at all. They do 100%. See, when it comes to certain tag blocks, if you set the number scale at 0 or 1, it has the exact same effect. You know, set it at 0, it's the same effect as setting it at 1, or 100%, because 0 equals unmodified. Set it at 0 point something, though, then you have a fraction.
Right, check yourself.
And in Halo Combat Evolved, most AI were set to do a damage modifier of 0.5 for their weapons, and in Combat Evolved, all AI active variants, you know, they had their own, unique, you know, weapon association set up with them. You know, you had elite minor plasma rifle, elite major needlers, stuff like that. That's not the case in Halo 2 because the engine is set up so you can actually give the AI any weapon you want, thanks to the AI generic tag. And so in the scenario tag block, you know, you go into the squads section of the scenario tag, which is where all the AI encounters are located, and you can go to starting locations sub block, and you can say, hey, okay, I want to put this AI in here, and I want to make sure it's this variant, and you can do that now in Halo 2. The engine is a major improvement over Halo 1 in many ways. It's just the way it's executed leaves some to be desired. It's not as polished as it could have been. But anyway, you know, so you know, you could have a grunt as long as the AI have animations for those weapons, they can use them. So you could give a grunt a pistol or a plasma rifle. It wouldn't make a difference. You know, as long as they have the animations, they can use it. So anyway, basically, in Halo 1, there are damage modifiers that prevent the AI from doing a full 100% of any weapon's damage when they're fighting, even on the highest difficulty. And so those modifiers are what is multiplied by the difficulty scales in globals. So those modifiers are what gets multiplied by the difficulty scales in globals. And I want to turn off the music so I can discuss this without getting distracted, because if I do this in gameplay, I'm going to lose my train of thought. So those difficulty scales...
They're in standard formation. Little bastards up front, big ones in back.
What the fuck?
They're in standard formation. Little bastards up front, big ones in back. Good luck, Cairo. They're in standard formation. Little bastards...
Oh my god, I found a bug. Well...
They're in standard formation. Little bastards up front, big ones in back. Good luck, Cairo.
That's...
Hands up! Come on, mate. I'm just a human.
Yeah, but anyway, there are no AI damage modifiers properly set up for any weapons in Halo 2 except for the Sentinel Beam, and it's only the regular Sentinel Beam. You know, in Halo 1, all AI, most of them had their damage modifiers set for 0.5 or 0.6 something. So that even when those modifiers were multiplied by the difficulty scales, they would not do 100% of a weapon's damage output against the player. And this was important because their firing rates would also be increased. The firing rates that are set up in the in the AI tag would be what was increased in the globals based on difficulty. You know, those tags would be what was, you know, that's what would be multiplied. And because most of the weapons in Halo 2 are so weak in comparison to their Halo 1 counterparts, I get a feeling that one of the reasons Bungie didn't really, you know, feel the need to give them those modifiers was I mean that's one of the reasons they didn't, probably. Because, you know, they figured, oh, the weapons are so weak it won't matter. But it does matter because of their firing rates. And the fact that they still get, because the weapons do 100% of their damage output, and that gets multiplied in difficulties by 1.5, and their firing rates are set at 1.5 on Legendary as well, that matters a lot. And it matters even more because certain weapons, like the Plasma Rifle and Plasma Pistol, are set in the Weapon Firing Associations block. There are 2 sub-blocks in there, one for Easy and one for Legendary. The Easy one gets multiplied in the difficulty scales for Easy, Normal, and Heroic. Legendary gets applied by the Legendary block. And in the Legendary sub-block for Firing Associations, the AI are already set to fire their weapons at a faster rate than they are on Easy. So they're already set to fire their weapons by at least 50% more than they do on Easy. And in the case of the Plasma Pistol, twice as fast. On Easy, the Plasma Pistol is set to be fired at a rate of 4 trigger pulls per second, because it's a semi-automatic weapon. They don't just hold it down, unless they're overcharging it. But only Jackals do that by default. And the Plasma Rifle is set to go at 9, which is 50%. And if you remember what I said earlier, in Combat Evolved, these were set at 1.8. But that's because in Combat Evolved, there were no secondary tag blocks for this data to be affected by. It was uniform across the board. So when they fire their weapons like it's say 1.5 times as 1.4 or 1.5 times as fast on Legendary in Combat Evolved, it was firing based on the number found, based on just the one number found in the active variant tag. It wasn't multiplying it based on a second number found in a second tag block. And that's what goes on in vanilla Halo 2. There's a secondary tag block, which unfortunately is set to be much higher than the primary one. And this is the one that's affected by Legendary. And that's where the problems begin. Because the weapon tag blocks, the AI are basically already set to fire, you know, as fast as they would if they were the same. Let me put it this way. In Combat Evolved, if you had a weapon set to fire at a certain rate on Legendary versus Easy, that's the kind of rate that it would be set at in the secondary block for Halo 2. And because Halo 2 has the damage scales and firing rates and globals set to fire 1.5 times as fast as it does, you know, as fast as that secondary block is, the plasma pistol would fire instead of, you know, 4 times multiplied by 1.5, it's now 8 multiplied by 1.5, which means you now have AI firing the weapon 12 trigger pulls per second, and they're doing it insanely accurately, and they're doing 1.5 times as much damage per bolt, and you're having all of those sent your way faster than you can react. And so what I've done in my mod is I've set the secondary and primary firing rates in both those firing association blocks to be the same number. So for the plasma pistol, it's 4 in both of them. That way when the plasma pistol firing rate gets multiplied in globals, it's now 1.5 times as much as it would be on Easy. That way it's not ridiculously high. It's basically 6 trigger pulls per second now. But the damage output is still 1.5. However, I have modified the damage output. As I mentioned earlier, I set the plasma pistol to do 16 points of damage. And because I've gone to the AI generic tag, I've set it up so that the AI modifier, the AI has a damage modifier of 0.5. So, that means the weapon is no longer doing 100% of its damage multiplied by 1.5 in Legendary. It's now 0.5 multiplied by 1.5. So 16 divided by 2, or, 16 multiplied by 0.5 is the same as divided by 2, is equal to 8. That's 8 points of damage. And then we multiply 8 points by 1.5. So 8 plus 4 is 12 points of damage. So it's doing 12 points of damage on Legendary, 6 trigger pulls per second. That is far more balanced than what is going on in vanilla Halo 2. Far more balanced. The accuracy is still there, but there's one other factor that I changed as well, and that is guidance versus player. And that is a factor that is higher in vanilla Halo 2 than in Combat Evolved. Guidance versus player is basically a gameplay mechanic that determines how much the enemy AI projectiles are guided towards the player by the game itself. When the enemy AI fire it, it determines how much those projectiles are guided towards them. This applies especially towards the Needler and other weapons. What I've done is I've set it up so that it's the same as Combat Evolved, Halo 3, and Reach. 0.5 on Easy, 0.5 on Normal, 0.75 on Heroic. No, actually I think Reach was a little bit higher, but 0.75 on Heroic and 1.0 on Legendary. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, the grenade detonations also set off chain reactions again. You can't see them very well in the anniversary graphics, but... Oh, shit, that they spawned. But yeah, so because I've dialed down the guidance versus player, that means enemy projectiles are not shit, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna... Wow. I'm still alive. And that's thanks to the balance changes I've made. If this were vanilla Halo 2, I would have been dead like probably 20 times already by now. Maybe more. Oh yeah, I dropped that. Really should have helped out those Marines when they were still alive. Yeah, now, basically, now this scenario you're seeing here is what is a common scenario in vanilla Halo 2, but because I'm not dying as quickly, and because I'm able to do a lot more damage, it's not as... Now, let's just see... Yeah, see that there? There you could see the chain reaction, the grenade, the popcorn link. I don't think they have those... I don't think they have that effect set up properly in remastered graphics, because by default, the chain reactions don't occur. By default, the grenades aren't set to detonate other grenades like they are in Halo 1, so they probably didn't think that they would need to set up... set it up to, you know, use those effects. Set it up to do that. I mean, it still uses the same detonation effect, it's just that I don't think... The anniversary graphics are set up to properly display that effect occurring under those circumstances. It's weird, I know, but... Now it's my turn, bitch. What was I saying? Oh yeah, and his shield's recharged. But yeah, so because all weapons have proper damage modifiers, and they have uniform firing rates, the firing rates are now uniformly multiplied in globals, and the damage modifiers are now done properly. So now the game is properly balanced like Combat Evolved.
Uh-oh. Hey, they're leaving the Athens.
No, that's not possible. This elite is still alive. You lie, Marine! Wait, who the hell said that? Everyone's dead! Die!
Cortana, assessment.
That explosion was from inside the Athens, same as the Malta. The Covenant must have brought something with them. A bomb.
Finally.
Then they sure as hell brought one here. Chief, find it.
You know, I do think that the classic Halo 2 elites look the best. I think they're the best looking thing in the original graphics anyway.
They're in standard formation.
God damn it,
Bastards
still.
up front, big ones in back. Good luck, Cairo.
No, look, see, I saved the Malta. The announcer is... Oh, God. Well, we still have those. Oh, that was a piece of debris, huh? Yeah. So, yeah, as I said, Needler is viable on its own. Guided angular velocity of 90 degrees, like Halo 1. Plasma Pistol Overcharge has a guided angular velocity of 45 degrees. Not as strong as the Needler, but if you're within range, it'll do the job. But if you're at a decent...
We don't have much time.
If you're at a close enough range, it'll home in. It also has a projectile travel speed like that of Combat Evolved. The initial velocity is 10 world units per second, while the final velocity is set up at 5.
All hands, suppression zone.
Ooh.
All non-combat personnel report to evacuation station.
Holy shit, I am lucky.
All hands, report to evacuation station.
Alright. So yeah, that's the sum of it. Plasma rifle has its firing rate slowed. I did mess with 7 to 10 rounds per second like Halo 1, but I found it was a bit too aggressive. So I returned it to 6 to 9 as it is in vanilla. I already discussed the damage output. It's also the same with the Brute Plasma Rifle because they both share the same damage tag. I don't know why they...
Where are
They
you?
probably didn't have enough
The
time.
bomb is right here.
Shut up, Cortana. Yeah, stealth elites have weak shields. Where's your buddy? Where's your buddy? There's your buddy. Oh no, Guns is dead! And I didn't hear no stinking oh shit, I have no plasma grenades. Uh-oh. But that's what the needler is for. Shit. Oh yeah, I should probably mention this by now. All elites have 100 points of health on this mod, regardless of difficulty. And I wonder if any of the dead grunts have... Shit, no. Okay, I'm gonna have to wing it. And if I die, I'll just restart the whole goddamn level. Sucks. No shotgun. There's a reason I've done this. It's because I've buffed the shotgun to be like its Halo 1 counterpart. And believe me.
Fire team to Habitat Delta. Hang on, everyone.
Yeah, 15 points of damage per bullet. Covenant grunts have not had their health changed at all. God, that feels good to do. This is what I wanted out of Halo 2 when it first released.
Station 1. I need a squad at Habitat
Come on, come
Delta.
on, come on. One of you bastards has to have it. There we go! 2. Alright. Oh, there's one.
All hands, we are abandoning the station.
Oh yeah, the firing rate for the plasma rifle. It's the projectile speed is now 12 world units per second instead of 14. I'm still thinking about maybe switching it to 10 in the final version because I've increased the damage output. But, ooh. Actually, yeah, this would actually be a this would actually be a decent idea. Because I've buffed the weapons, this might actually be a decent idea. Why is my frame rate dropping? Yeah, well, it is a graphics, and it is an intense graphics heavy remaster. Also, I want to mention, the SMG is now the only weapon in the mod that does not have damage modifiers for dual wielding. $100 points of health damage with EMP as a side effect. And it stuns the opponent for 0.5 seconds. Nice, eh? Oh wait, I have a damage debuff done to it when dual wielding. Oh well. Yeah, no, see, that actually did health damage to him. Missed. $16 points of damage per regular bolt. Plasma cannon now does 10 points of damage maximum per bolt. It has a minimum of 6, like the plasma rifle by default. It has a firing rate. It's been changed from 9 to 11 to 6 to 12. Or was it 8 to 11? But it's 6 to 12 now. With a, yeah, it's 6 to 12. And let's...
Fire team, the terminal.
Woohoo! 5 out of 5. How do you feel now, you big dumbass? Look at that. I got all of them. Oh shit.
Don't worry, man. We're on
The plasma rifle still has a debuff when dual wielded, but it's 0.8 instead of... Aww. Instead of 0.7. I wonder if I can still go back and grab a needler or something. If there are any needlers left. Did I? Oh, please tell me there's still a needler here somewhere. Please, please let there still be a needler. Oh, come on. Yes! I'm gonna need you, boy. I'm gonna need you. Smooth sailing in classic graphics. Oh! Turret despawned. Okay, well. It's not too surprising. ran away. Oh, but this one didn't. Why is that? Wait a minute. Oh, I guess there had to be a price for something. Yeah, walk it off, Miranda. You're invincible.
Thanks, Chief. I owe you one.
Oh yeah, Johnson's got his battle attire on now.
Get going. I'll cover the commander.
I guess it wasn't so bad. Chief, that hurt!
I know.
Watch it! Stupid alien! As long as you stay put, you'll be fine.
Ooh. Oh yeah, the Needler has had its ammo capacity increased dramatically. When 300 single-wielded, 600 when dual-wielded. Because it's got a 30-round mag. I'm not going to say clip, that's an incorrect terminology. That is not proper word usage. It is wrong.
Hold! Wait for it! Run!
No,
Everyone run!
Did you just say, look, everyone run? You don't run, you have a jetpack, you fly! Hi. Elite Rangers do not have 100 points of health. They have 75. And 75 points for shields.
Sir, boarders have breached the fire control center. They have a bomb.
Can you defuse it?
Yes, but I'll need the Chief's help to make contact with the detonator.
Chief, get to the bomb, double time. Cortana, prioritize targets and fire at will.
What did Will ever do to you? So yeah, Elite Rangers have 75 points for health and 75 for shields on all difficulties because I've increased the numbers of them that you encounter at a time. And since the Needler Super Combined does 200 points of damage, that means you'll kill them with a single Super Combined regardless of difficulty. You were saying?
First echelon, you're with me. Blanket those cruisers. Take them out one by one.
ODSTs.
Second echelon, keep those carriers busy.
However,
All hostile vessels.
for this encounter, I may have made a stupid decision in
I'm
regards
going
to
loud.
this. I still think this is the nicest looking interior of the original game. And pull back. Drones can now be killed with headshots. Oh yeah, let's talk about changes made to the UNSC weapons. The SMG does 5.5 points of damage per bullet. and its magazine size has, well, it still has a 60-round mag, but it can hold up to 600 rounds in spare, and as you saw earlier when I first started the stream, it can hold up to 1,200 rounds when dual-wielded. And that, when I first found that out, I was actually kind of surprised, because I thought that if you look at the ammo counter, I didn't realize it would go up to 4 digits. I thought it could only hold 3 digits. Now here's something you'll only see if you keep these Marines alive. Watch. Yeah. For this mod though, the firing rate of the SMG has been switched to 18 rounds per second, just so that the firing sound, it sounds better that way, since it's a 60 frame per second game. I don't know. I don't think the frame rate has any effect on it. Now let's talk about the battle rifle. The battle rifle, as you've been able to tell, has 360 spare rounds. It's got a reserve of 360 spare rounds. Still fires a 3-round burst. Each bullet now travels, instead of 400 world units per second, it's 800. And yes, the battle rifle is a projectile weapon in Halo 2. It is not hit scan. There are no weapons in this game are technically hit scan. Even the Sentinel beam is basically just a series of projectiles traveling really fast in a straight forward line. They travel at like, I think, over 1,000 world units per second, so it gives the illusion of they fire 1,000 world units per second, and they shoots out like 30 projectiles at a time. I didn't press a button. It's doing that on its own. I didn't know it could do that. I didn't know it could do that on its own. That's cool. Yeah, so 800 world units per second, and the firing range has been increased to 80 world units to reflect this, because it now shares the middle ground between the other weapons and the sniper rifle. In Vanilla Halo 2, it was 40 world units at range, with 400 world units per second as its traveling speed, which is pretty good. It's still better than Halo 3's battle rifle. Halo 3's battle rifle sucks.
They're heading straight for the Cairo.
Most weapons in Halo 3 suck, except for the beam rifle. And then
Admiral, do what you can against the second. Everyone,
and the sniper rifle. Sniper rifle in Halo 2 sucks, though. Alright, here's where the challenge comes in. Because I've still got the Iron Skull turned on.
The first carrier completely ignored us, sir.
Damage per bullet is now 7 points for the battle rifle. So it does a total of 21 points of damage per burst. Sort of similar to the 25 points of the M6D pistol from Halo 1. I initially had it set at 8 points per bullet, but I felt that made it a bit too overpowered, even with, increased health and shields for some enemies. Because I wanted it to be a weapon it's not like where the only challenge with it is the elites. I didn't want it to be that overpowered. I wanted it to be more effective in the campaign than it was by default, but I didn't want it to be a super weapon. Okay, that's what the Halo rings are for. The Halo rings are super weapons. The battle rifle doesn't need to be a super weapon. I don't need to be able to wipe out entire civilizations with it. I just need to be able to kill enemies. See that? See how the elite was killed by the plasma grenade even without being, attached? Now that's again due to changes I've made, which is an increased blast radius and the EMP effect. So the shields are drained, and the increased blast radius means that the EMP is going to strip its shields really quickly, take them out, and then, the rest of the blast damage will do them in. Oh, they're already down there. Gotta keep moving. So yeah, I'm still on Legendary for anyone who's... And I've got the Iron Skull turned on. Let's see. Now, please keep in mind, there's something I want to point out here. 343 gave these elites nice green, like, sort of a mint seafoam green coloration, and I think that's really cool. I actually kind of mimicked that coloration in my Halo Reach mod for the Elite Rangers, but that's because, you know, I just wanted to see green elites. So thank you 343 for at least making one type of elite green armored. That really is so cool, though. Yeah, 3D models in the anniversary graphics do a much better job of matching the original ones, unlike Combat Evolved, where you could, like... How many times did I blow myself up with a rocket launcher by accident in Combat Evolved Anniversary? Because the boulder I was behind was bigger in Classic than it was in Anniversary. Yeah. Half of these guys are Spec Ops elites, and they will hunt you down. Now, let's see. These guys are useless except for this.
Mighty condom.
So the shotgun is here. See that? Shit! And we gotta start over, but that's fine with me.
You told me you were gonna wear something.
Yeah, like I said, the Spec Op elites, or the Special Operations elites, they will hunt you down. They do not just stand in a corner and take it like... They don't just stand in a corner and take your damage. They will hunt you down. So you have got to be prepared for them in that level. Especially on Legendary, you've got to be prepared for them. They will hunt you. They will not just stand in a corner.
Stand by.
They will hunt you down like the dirty dog that you are.
Watch the crossfire. They're in standard formation. Little bastards up front, big ones in back. Good luck, Cairo.
Oh, good. The audio glitch isn't there anymore.
Field of fire on that bulkhead. As soon as that door opens,
Yep.
let them have it.
Sugar water. Soda. Yeah, it's the same thing. Oh yeah, you have 2 grenades at the start of the level as well.
That's not my style.
This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill.
Now, I've only increased the Magnum's accuracy slightly, but not enough that it's, like, super lethal.
We're doing good.
It's best used at close range.
Sir, that hurt.
Wasn't aiming for you, bitch.
Attack!
Okay, now that's how you know the wave is done.
Well, you asked me to dance.
Will you dance with me, lady? I'm sorry for insulting you earlier. Please, don't leave me alone. I'm horny.
Orders from Habitat Alpha. I need a squad in Habitat Alpha ASAP.
Thank you, 50 points of health.
Good response team to Security Station 3. Seal pressure doors.
Bum, brr, bum, brr, bum, bum, brr, bum. How you doing?
Sir, we gotta put them on the defensive.
Don't stare at me with your mouth open like a fish. Close that mouth, Marine.
Security Station 4 is under attack.
What happened to you?
Nothing.
Orders in Section 7.
I know you're there.
Fire team, order in Section 2.
Oh yeah, you notice I've increased the number of female Marines around here, but
Fire team, Trans-Terminal 1.
why not?
That hurt.
Orders have reached the communications deck.
Right behind me.
Quick response team to the communications deck.
Right behind me.
Yeah, those are Spec Ops elites right there as well.
Alert. We have
Notice their
hostiles on the
tenacity.
command deck.
Ow.
Oh, there goes my meat shield. Yeah, but I made it so far without dying, and it just took the one Spec Ops elite getting in behind me. Spec Ops Grunt. Now, one thing I want to note is that the Spec Ops Grunt does not have an AI tag in this level. What I did was, in the scenario tag... Yeah, in the scenario tag... I set it up so that the permutation for one of the grunts in the starting locations, in the spawn points, is Spec Ops. You can do that here. You can give them, you can set up their permutations to reference other AI variants. And if you, for instance, Jackal snipers are set as, you know, it's actually much easier to tell the difference between the elites here. You know, Jackal snipers are set as shieldless. Their permutation is called shieldless. And if you were to switch the place between a Jackal sniper and an elite, you'd get some pretty interesting results. You basically get a bunch of elite counselors with weird armor. Oh yeah, I increased the range of the, well, not the range, but the accuracy of the SMG at a range. The error angles are set at 0.5 to 4. Yeah, and just like the Halo 1 assault rifle now, you can like fire a single round by gently tapping it. I've always loved that feature about Combat Evolved. I miss how it was taken away in the... Oh, good. Kill him.
We've got orders from the Fort Pelican Bay.
Yeah. The two most useless weapons in Halo 2 Vanilla are now very much useful.
I lost it! Squid-headed freak!
Stupid bugger! I don't know who glassed Reach, but it sure was you, little Girl Scout.
Hoorah! Keep going!
Holy crap! Did you see that? See, this is one of the flaws of the original This is one of the problems that Bungie had with games. Anytime they had something cool in one game, they would fuck it up in the next game. Shit. Or any cool ideas they had, they would just not use it properly. Take dual wielding, for instance. They had the option to debuff weapons when dual wielding, which is, you know, it's good for multiplayer.
They're retreating. We won.
But they decided to basically make weapons so worthless in the campaign that they're practically unusable when you dual wield them. And because of the damage debuff, they're already worthless in the hands of the player. And that's one of the problems in Vanilla Halo 2. Basically, damage output is so weak by default that most weapons are useless in the hands of the player. They're great in the hands of the AI where they're lethal, but in the hands of the player they're worthless, especially when you dual wield them because of the damage debuff. So it's God, I love the effect that has. All right, now since I was able to save some of the Marines here, they're gonna join us. They actually do that if you save some of them, they will join you in the next area. Checkpoint, please. Come on. Yes.
Alert. Hostiles have reached the Fort Mac area.
Yeah.
I got another contact.
Holy crap! That idiot stuck one of his friends and blew them all up. Oh god, I love it when that happens. Love it when the AI and there was my stupidity. Yeah, Elite Zealots share health and shields with Ultras because they don't have their own vitality property section in their tags. Actually, they're among the few that don't really have that. Oh yeah, friendly AI also have a debuff when it comes to their weapons. They have damage modifiers of 0.5 as well, which again are multiplied in globals by 1.5 on Legendary. You know, so they have that multiplier applied as well. It's only fair. Yeah, the plasma rifle has a debuff when dual wielding of 0.8,
Hey, they're leaving the Athens.
which is identical to what it has in. Gotta make sure not to waste those grenades. Identical to the debuff featured in Halo 3.
Cortana, assessment.
That explosion came from inside the Athens, same as the Malta. The Covenant must have brought
They're in
something
standard
with them.
formation.
God
Little
damn it,
bastard
that
up
audio
front,
bug still
big
plays.
ones
Sure
in
as hell
back.
brought one
Good luck,
here.
Cairo.
Chief, find it.
All non-combat personnel to pressure zones. All hands to pressure zone.
Haha! Oh, I know. Now watch this. Hey, you guys want to come over here and help?
On me, Marines.
Not a lot of time on the clock, Chief.
Shut up, Cortana. I have Marines who don't want to
Split chin bastard.
do anything. They don't want to help. That hurts my feelings. Hey. Ooh, never noticed that stripe there.
All non-combat personnel report to evacuation station.
Yeah, the AI all looks so much better in Halo 2 Anniversary. Not just graphics, but also color scheme-wise. I mean, the Elite Miners are now a genuine blue color instead of purplish like they were before. You know, yeah, Grunts are still using the Reach, you know, armor, but hey, it's a good armor scheme.
Get down here.
It's a good armor scheme, why not use it, you know? Alright, where's your buddy? Where's your buddy? Where's your buddy?
Come on now.
And Gunny's dead again. Even if you were to give him a power weapon, he'd still die. He's scripted to die. There is no way to save him. Just die already. Oh wait, I have plasma grenades. Gotta make sure I don't fuck this up though. Oh, he went back up. Like a squirrel running back across the street when a car comes by. I forgot to give that to you earlier. Yeah, see that? See? The EMP effect knocked out his shields. That wouldn't work in vanilla Halo 2 because there's no EMP effect on the grenade. That's odd. Did it bounce off? Oh, no.
Fire teams to habitat.
Goodbye, Gunny. You were always my favorite. No, you're not my favorite character. Fellhammer is. Hellhammer is still my favorite character.
Hostiles have taken security station 1.
Now, okay, so this light remains. Look at how cool that looks. Look at how cool this looks. Look at this lighting. This is so cool. Yeah. So anyway, elite ranks are their shield strength is what varies depending on difficulty in this mod. Spec Ops have they share ultra ranks, which is 260 points on legendary, 200 points on normal. Well, 200 points on easy. And because I have global set up so that health and shield vitality sections are set at 1 on all difficulties, that means that... Well, they're set that way by default, so it won't change. And yes, even though the player has increased health and shields, you can still die easily, because remember, like, I died earlier. Wish I turned off the Iron Skull, though, but that'll make shit a lot easier to deal with. And you're still a death-dealing god of destruction.
All hands report to evacuation station.
Hey, bastards! Knock, knock!
All hands, we are abandoning the station.
Yep. Oh, the error angles for the battle rifle. They're now at 0.25 to 0.75, same as the vanilla tags for the vanilla angles for the plasma rifle and brute plasma rifle. Now that I think about it, the plasma rifle has had its error angles changed to be more like Halo Reach, where it's 0.25 to 2 for the regular plasma rifle, and the brute one is at 0.5 to 2.5. When dual wielded, the error angles are increased.
Just a friendly reminder, bomb.
Thank you, Cortana. But I'm kind of busy not dying at the moment. Just a friendly reminder, bomb. And this is, I don't even have the I Would Have Been Your Daddy skull turned on here. This is just what happens if you take too long. Hey, shithead. Thanks for dying. Oh, and the battle rifle is fully automatic, too. It still fires in bursts, but if you hold down the trigger, it'll keep firing. It has a fire recovery rate of 0.36 seconds, with a soft recovery fraction of 0.2 seconds. So it's not too quick. It feels just right. It's basically the Halo 1 pistol in the body of a rifle. Now, I think that if the Halo 1 pistol had been in the body of a rifle in that game, I don't think it would have been quite as special. Oh yeah, damage output and blast radius for the frag grenade. 150 points maximum for regular blast and the equipment blast. Like, you know, when it gets detonated by another explosion, or if you shoot it. Oh yeah, if you shoot a grenade on the ground, it'll explode, depending on the weapon. Yeah, your rings can go shove it. Your giant hula hoop can kiss my ass. Buy the giant hula hoops. Buy the God's own anti-son of a bitch machine. This is satisfying. I want to hear what dialogue he'll say. I do miss how in Halo 1, elites, like, their mandibles would close all the way. In Halo 1. In Halo 2 onward, they don't do that anymore. It's kind of sad. Are you dead? You're not dead! Yeah, this is probably the best way to trigger that door opening, is to go in there. So that then you can just jump out the window. Use your environment to your advantage. Oh yeah, so Elite Majors, their shields are set at 150 points on normal and 200 points on legendary. So they basically have the same health and shields on easy through heroic. Okay. Ooh, it's fresh.
Fire team to Terminal 2.
All right.
Almost on board when they showed up.
Don't worry, man. We're on it.
Now, by we, you mean the Marines who
Thanks,
are
Chief.
not dead?
I owe you one.
Get going. I'll cover the commander.
I'm sorry, it's just that...
Tactical.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something, like, respectful to the guy. Hey. Oh, these are the Halo Wars Marine models. Cool. These are this is the armor used in the Halo Wars. Used in Halo Wars cutscenes. I mean, if you look at it, you know, change the color to brown and
Eyes on the
gray.
enemy.
What?
Chief, you are supposed to set an example.
I am!
Oh, was that smart?
No, but it was fun. Oh, come on, Johnson, you're immortal. You'll be fine.
Protect yourself.
Overkill.
Who's with me?
$517.
I'm good, Chief. Keep going.
Miranda does look a lot better in this. I think this is probably the best she'll ever look in the
What
series,
is
and
it, Chief?
probably the best she'll look in this series.
Alert. Borders and port dry dock.
Hold! Let it come back to us.
Oh my god, those elites are dumb.
Sir, boarders have breached the fire control center. They have a bomb.
Can you defuse it?
Yes, but I'll need the Chief's help to make contact with the detonator.
Chief, get to the bomb, double time. Cortana, prioritize targets and fire at will.
There's no sun! Oh my god, everyone on Earth is probably dead. The lack of heat means there's no food, there's nothing to keep anyone warm, there's a nuclear winter overtaking the planet. What are we even fighting to protect anymore? The Earth is dead. There's no sun to give it light and warmth. What are we even fighting to protect? A dead barren husk? Oh god, the humanity. I think I'm going to increase the range of the Needler's super combined detonation. Like the explosive damage, I'm going to increase the range of it. I'm gonna increase the range in the final version. In the final Mjolnir version, because I kind of want it to take out nearby enemies too.
Blanket those cruisers. Take them out one by one. Second echelon, keep those carriers busy.
Registering all hostile vessels inside the kill zone. 13 cruisers, 2 assault carriers. I'm going loud.
No, you can't expect everything to be flawless. I mean, I've got 16 gigabytes of RAM and a video card with 5 gigabytes of video RAM on it, but it's not a dedicated console like the Xbox One is. You know, the Xbox One is a dedicated console, and this game was designed for use on that console in the first place. You know, it's not like running Halo 2 Vista on a modern computer. I mean, it sort of is, because it's based on the... It's built over top the Vista engine. Yeah, drones remain unchanged aside from being killed, you know, headshot, being... Oh, that's hilarious right there. I just find that funny. I just think that's really funny. You see, this is why I add so many, Marines here, so many ODSTs. Because they do die, and I can't set up the ODSTs to have individual vitality tags. They don't have that available in their AI tags. They don't have that. They basically have their parent AI is the regular Marine. That is the AI that they inherit a lot of other traits. It's the AI tag from which their tags inherit traits from. It's the parent tag. So their parent tag would be the Marine AI. And the Marine AI uses the AI generic tag as a parent. One of the reasons for this generic tag is, as I said earlier, you know, makes everything easier. It's also the reason you can swap weapons with them, because that means they can all reference a tag that has firing information, you know, ranged combat information for using whatever weapon you give them. As long as they have the animations for using that weapon, you can swap with them. Hi, will you be my friend? I'll take that as a no. You see that? Shit. Okay, you know what? We're gonna play this without the Iron Skull turned on. We're gonna take off Iron because I'm getting distracted too easily while dying, and it's just more fun to not have to... God damn it. I forgot. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I'm sorry, people. I forgot that, let me make sure this is still streaming. Yeah, okay, it's still streaming. Yeah, I forgot. The flight has this weird bug where every time you do save and quit, it just quits to the desktop. I'm pretty sure they'll have I'm sure it'll be patched in the final game. It should be. I mean, if it doesn't, that's going to be one hell of a problem. But yeah, anyway, so we're going to go to missions. Just turn off iron. It's just... Yeah, we're going to turn that one on, though. Oh! Wait, I Would Have Been Your Daddy has a score multiplier? How does that even work? It doesn't give you an advantage or anything? Frequently. Don't want that. Okay. Cool. Hunters are much stronger. Upgrades the rank of most enemies. Streaking. Mythic, yeah, no. Famine, blah, 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 iron, not doing that. Eye patch. Auto-aim disabled for all weapons. You'll miss it when it's gone. Okay, for everyone who every single player who wants to whine about, for all you multiplayer fans out there, for all of you competitive players in multiplayer, this skull can be turned on in classic Halo 2 multiplayer online for Halo 2 Anniversary. Yeah, if you wanna, you can set up game modes where this skull is active in Halo 2 classic multiplayer for the MCC. So, yeah, if you wanna, so yeah, just ask 343 to make a, you know, online game, competitive game mode where this skull is active, and you can have your auto aimless. You can have your game without aim assist. Bunch of whiny, bitching, moaning bastards. Black Eye, Assassins. I swear there was another thing called That's Just Wrong. Where is Whoopopotamus? Prophet Birthday. Yeah, I still don't understand. What punch that prophet up to 11? What does that do? Catch. Angry. That's just wrong. Okay. Enemy awareness. Whoopopotamus. That's the flavor of ice cream I want. What the fuck? Yeah, let's start the game again. Yeah, I Would Have Been Your Daddy. This is gonna be a long stream and night, but you know what? Hey, the flight ends tomorrow, and I don't know what time the Insider flight is gonna uninstall itself, so I might as well get this one out of the way. I need to get some water. Oh god, my throat is parched. What time is... Oh crap, I forgot to take my medication. Oh, yay. Defend the station's Mac gun from Borders. Look, I think if Borders Bookstore wants to take the recipe of the Big Mac from McDonald's, I'm fine with it. I used to work at McDonald's, and honestly, I'd rather not ever go in there again. I mean, the food is right from... McDonald's, their burgers are made from real beef. I've worked there. I know what the food's made of. It's real meat. It's real meat. It's FDA certified beef. You know, the burgers at McDonald's are FDA certified beef. I can verify that. I used to work there. I used to work at a McDonald's restaurant for about 5 months. And at least during the time I was working there, the meat was all FDA certified. Certified beef. So
something nice. Folks need heroes, Chief.
I just hated the working conditions.
So smile, would you? Well, we still got something to smile about.
Yeah, when he says something to smile about, he's referring to events that took place in, I believe, the novel First Strike, written by Eric Nyland, which takes place between the events of Halo 1 and 2. But the thing is, though, First Strike being extended media, or like being expanded universe material, is not a requirement for understanding the story. It's there if you want it. You know? You don't have to read it to understand this.
If they came to hear me beg,
Because Halo 2 doesn't really have any direct references to First Strike. Any references it does have are oblique enough that they could be also referencing events of the first game. Oh yeah, I've added 3 Marines here, but you see they die so easily. I'm gonna use the Halo 1 assault rifle. You know, the SMG has the same targeting reticle as it.
Stand by. They're latched. Check your targets, watch the crossfire. They're in standard formation. Little bastards up front, big ones in back. Good luck, Cairo.
You know, the SMG basically functions like the assault rifle. It's just it's got even worse accuracy. And it does less damage per bullet. Everything in Halo 2 Vanilla does less damage.
Field of fire on that bulkhead. As soon as that door opens,
I gotta say, you know, it's got me wondering though. When I looked at the tag files for this map, basically all the maps have the Scarab Gun weapon tag in them now, which means 343 did open up the map files and edit them to add those weapon tags, which leaves me dismayed that they didn't take the time to go in and rebalance the game. But if 343 Industries had gone and tried to rebalance the game, I guarantee everyone watching this, I guarantee you all that the fandom, the extremely zealous members of the fandom, would have been hounding for their blood and would have crucified them. And honestly, they probably would have gotten a shit ton of hate mail. And let's face it, you don't want to deal with that. You know? I mean, I get the goal is to preserve the games as they were originally released, but when you consider that Halo 2 was rushed to meet a release date and it wasn't properly fine-tuned, I think it would be okay. You know, I think it's okay for 343, if you're listening. Halo 2 was rushed to meet a release date, so it didn't have time for fine-tuning. If you guys ever actually decide that you want to rebalance it, I'd be perfectly fine with it. Because you'd be fixing something that was released in a broken state. It was technically released in a broken state. You know, it's technically unfinished. You could fix it if you wanted to. I mean, you added the helmet lights, the lights on the helmets to the Jackal snipers, you know, so they'd be easier to see, and that improved things.
Not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill.
It's just in the classic frame rates dropping. Yeah. Oh, there's another reason I increased the number of Marines to be found here. Because when you increase their numbers, they tend to have more dialogue between each other. Even without the I would have been your daddy skull turned on.
All hands, report to battle station.
Oh yeah. Earlier, before I got killed, I wanted to point out the shotgun has increased range. Damage is untouched. It does the same amount of damage per projectile as it did in Vanilla. This is actually some of the highest in any game.
Steel pressure door.
yeah, it's my day.
Open weapons locker.
Oh yeah. I remember my Silver Edition mod for Halo 2 Vista. I gave like I did not edit the AI damage modifiers for weapons, so elites that were dual wielding plasma, because the plasma rifle was still set at 10 points per projectile, and the since there was no damage modifier for it, elites that were dual wielding it were like the deadliest thing ever.
I need a squad in Habitat Alpha ASAP.
Twitchin' bastard.
Shit, did I just...
Quick response teams to Security Station 3. Field reservoir.
Ah, see that?
I can't figure.
Security Station 4 is under attack. Borders in Section 7.
That's probably what was having an effect. Nope. Oh, no, no, yeah. Ah, good. Now, if I walk real slowly... Stop looking with your mouth open like a fish! Oops. He had it coming.
Fire team, border in Section 2. Attention. We have border in Section 3. Fire team to Tram Terminal 1. Borders have breached the communications deck.
The hell is up with the frame rate dropping?
Quick response team to the communications deck.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Alert. We have hostiles on the command deck.
Should be noted, though, that the stun effect only happens to unshielded enemies.
Hey, careful! Hey! Hey! Oh!
Double kill, triple kill, overkill, kill-tacular. Kilimanjaro. Unfreaking bit. Okay, it's actually very believable.
Brace for impact.
Wait a minute. Oh my god, he's still alive! Haha! The hell? When in doubt, just use the noob combo. I mean, it was an effective strategy in Halo 1 and it's still effective here. Sure, they call it the noob combo, but you know what? If it works, it works. Yeah, don't limit yourself because you don't want to seem uncool. At last! God, that is so pretty. I've got a video card with 5 GB of video RAM on it. I should not be having these troubles, and I've got a quad-core processor running at 3.5 gigahertz. Where's the 3.4? Either way, it's, you know, per core. Alright.
Pay attention, soldier.
Did I just throw that grenade without any animation? I did it again! I did throw it without animations. I did throw it. Okay, that's not doing anything.
My face looks like a squid. I'd be angry too.
Push right on through.
Hey, check it out.
So anyway, I wanted to demonstrate earlier.
Malta, what is your status? Over.
What the? I have the bullet set to detonate explosives.
I don't believe it.
Why the hell isn't
They're
it detonating
retreating.
them?
We won.
That's weird. Try it out here. Ah, there it worked.
Grenade! Get the hell out of there!
All hands, brace for impact.
Tell that to the dead guy. Oh, right.
Why don't you have a look?
Hostiles have reached the port max.
Doi! 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 Yeah, this is gonna be problematic. Let's grab our handy dandy needler here.
Master Chief!
Okay, you all need to die.
On me, Marine. Grenade, move!
Hi, fuck all of you.
Man, you just aren't that good, huh? I've lost track of it.
Well, you said I have plenty of meat shields. Well, I had a pretty good run. I've never had these kind of frame rate issues as, you know, Halo 2 Vista, PC port of Vista. Never had these problems. Okay, you get a grenade, and you get a brain.
Over there.
Bet you can't stick it. Hi! And...
Found himself some cover. Hey, ho!
That's supposed to be funny?
Now!
Thank you for dying, you son of a bitch.
Uh-oh. Hey, they're leaving the Athens.
Running at a smooth 30 frames per second.
Cortana, assessment.
That explosion came from inside
Oh, hey.
the Athens. Same as the Malta. The Covenant must have brought something with them. A bomb.
Then they sure as hell brought one here.
Hold on a second.
Chief, find it.
All non-combat personnel to pressure zone.
Oh, all of the Marines are dead.
All hands to pressure zone.
Come on now! Is that a weapon or a...
Hang on, everyone.
Alright, you know what? I'm just gonna stop the stream here because I'm having frame rate issues and at this point I'm getting tired. Alright, thank you all for watching this. Anyway, yeah, so, thank you all for watching and, good evening and, yeah, it's gonna exit itself out.